Good day, everyone, and welcome. Car Stereo News. That's what it is. Before we get started with the news, however, let's take a look at the weather. Come on, wake up and do your thing. I know it's like crazy. What's the weather like?
Right now in our beautiful Clearwater, Florida, it looks bad.
Does it?
I'm saying.
Oh no, yeah.
It's 82.
82?
82, and it's gonna look like it's gonna be like 120.
Really?
It's gonna be hot. It was hot yesterday. It's gonna be hot today. It's hot in Florida, that's for sure. So,
well, that's good. Let's check in with what it's like with the rest of the world.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll through that, and I'm gonna do this real quick.
Good morning, everyone. David, checking in from Springfield, Massachusetts, at 60 degrees with the highest of 75.
Well, that was loud.
Okay.
Well,
that looks nice. Morning, 47 with the
better.
highest of 82 in the Pacific Northwest. What's up?
So what I'm trying to we changed some things with the connection to try to get a better signal here, and obviously
Good morning,
I mean,
Brad.
it looks good on the phone. It looks still like on a laptop or a big screen. It still looks like crap. I don't know what the heck's going on.
62. See, that's a big swing.
Yeah, it's like 40 degrees. That's not something that we could physically deal with. I mean, so a lot of people, like, their weather is special and all this other crap. That's one thing over the past years and years of doing this we've learned. But what makes Florida unique is that maybe 10 degrees, even in the coldest of cold, our swing is 10 degrees. Whereas like some of you guys, you'll have 30-degree swing, 40-degree swing.
That's crazy.
And we don't have stuff like that, which is one of the allures of the tropics is that the temperature stays pretty steady throughout the day. Yeah. But the thing is there's never a reprieve. Like even at nighttime, it's like it never gets cool ever.
No, it's hot. Yesterday was super hot.
Oh yeah, muggy, and it was great. Yeah. It's out. Oh, can't wait for the sun to go down. The only thing that happens when the sun goes down is that you don't get a tan. Outside of that, it's still 90 degrees or 88 degrees, as it likes to say.
Just like Portugal, 90 today, 72 in East Tennessee.
Hi. Good morning, San Diego, 67. The high is 78.
What's up, Victor?
Let's see. Let's go down here. Cloudy, North Carolina. 68, high 76. Yeah. 55 in the Bay Area right now. 91 around noon. Yeah, see, there you go. 64 and raining in South Jersey. Apparently it rained last night.
It did?
Yeah, I had no idea.
But for 2 seconds. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, it's Amy. What is happening? For those of you who don't know, we steal all our news. Oh, wrong button. Yeah. Yeah, we steal all our news from her page called CE Outlook.
That's right.
So if you're wondering where we find it there. Amy and the New Guys. We'll just call them Amy and the New Guys right now. Do a great job coming out with wonderful stories. We put links in the description, so if you'd like to follow along at home, go right ahead. If you'd like to see what we decided was not worthy enough to make our show, there is things we don't talk about. I know, it's hard to believe. Robert.
Yes.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, how's it going?
101.
Yeah, well, he's in Modesto.
Yes, I know. Still, it's surprising.
Yeah. Ada's checking in. It's like 35, going to be 105, but humidity swing is real trick. Yeah, for sure. We went into the 80s on Wednesday, 60s and rainy Pacific Northwest. Yeah, a scoreboard thing for chat. The crowns. Oh, you guys are funny. 68 in Virginia, high of 81. 75 in Detroit. Grand Prix weekend.
Yes, dude, that's right.
Dude, that was the Grand Prix in Detroit. Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because they had it when I was a kid.
Oh.
I didn't go.
I enjoyed this one. It was great.
Yeah, but downtown Detroit with those tall buildings and that echo. Oh, God.
Yeah.
That has to be fantastic. I don't want to go see it in Detroit, but, I mean, it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
It's Victor. Yes, but get hurricane-type rain. 15 later, we get sunny, 100 degrees. Yeah. I mean, that's the joy of Florida, man. Hi.
Hello.
Milford, Massachusetts. The falling leaves. We're on the opposite side of that now.
I like the picture. That's cool.
That is, but we won't see that for 6 more months.
Yeah.
So it's full on summer coming. Everyone is happy. So, I'll just save you the headache on that one and tell you that all the new Rockford Fosgate stuff that we're going to hear about is going to be released at SEMA. So until SEMA rolls, it's going to be hush hush, no talkie from Rockford Fosgate, because whatever is going to happen there. We know this because we're going to be brought out to talk about it. And so we'll know something before then, obviously, because we have to get prepped for it. But this is one of those things where it's like, we're going to release the secret a year out, which is what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to shut up, which is exactly what they said. They're like, here's the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not going to talk about it. So they had a big release party last SEMA, which was fantastic. They did some release party at Master Tech Expo on some of the motorcycle stuff. And then they did some more at CMA. That was kind of like a hodgepodge of everything that they've talked about.
Yeah.
And then they zipped the tent. We got to talk a little bit about the new speakers that are coming out, but there again, that was it, just to keep stoking the fire a little bit. But nuts and bolts, you're not gonna. It's over until
you're gonna find out.
It's like the super secret thing that isn't a super secret thing.
Yeah.
But the details.
It is a super secret thing.
So basically November, which is cool. I mean, that gives us all something to look forward to if you're a Rockford fan.
Right.
It's very hot right now.
Super
and then that
hot.
is a technical term. It is very hot.
Yeah.
Very hot. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Secret squirrel. It's always a secret squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is the best manufacturer keeping a tight lip on new products? iData. iData is really good because they are working on products with other manufacturers. So they'll tell us their secrets. But when it comes to secrets, like when they're working with a manufacturer, they won't tell us anything. Even if we know the manufacturer they're working with and we know those secrets, they won't tell us. Most of the time. Sometimes, yes. It just depends what kind of mood they're in. But when they like to really keep that on the DL. Trying to think of who, like Alpine. Sony is really good. Like Sony is really good because, which is funny because they keep this. It's weird. Like, everybody knows, but nobody knows. It's like it's so weird. Like, it's like, hey, we know you're doing that. Oh no, man, we ain't doing that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, okay, but there again, Sony does a pretty good job of keeping it in a really small bubble, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, Rockford too, man. Rockford is like...
Well, there again, most manufacturers keep their stuff very tight and only let certain people know. Like Sony, Ada would probably know what's going to happen with Sony because he's a big Sony dealer and they love talking to him. But otherwise, it's like, and there again, it just depends on the manufacturer and who you're talking to.
Yeah.
But exactly. Each manufacturer has the people they talk to.
Yeah.
And they need to, because at the end of the day, the manufacturers have to get like feedback on what's a good idea.
Manufacturers have to get feedback after they make the product.
I
don't understand.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's like, why do you ask me for the feedback?
Yeah, it makes
when you already make the product.
it makes total sense. There we go. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what is going on? All right, hold on. Turn that on.
Okay, strike it.
Turn that on.
There you go.
Turn that on. So digging into the news, new smart streaming device with touch control. Okay, so this is one of those weird things that people probably feel they need, but they don't really need. Years ago, when the smartphone things came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is so cool," and we started doing iPads in the dash. It was like, this is the future. And then we quickly found out that it really isn't the future because we don't have the controls we need. No integration with backup cameras, and it's just not what we thought it would be, right? Because the manufacturers just don't put that kind of Apple and Android don't want to give you that kind of control because that's not what they're thinking about. Their ideas are not putting it in the dash. So as time went on, there was still a handful of people, because Soundman is still busy making iPad dash things because some people think it's really cool. But the majority of us has just kind of moved on, and in-dash DVD really isn't a thing anymore. Nobody's doing that. And I think we've all moved down the road. Okay, I think we all, but it's obviously, you're your own person. But to me, it seems like everyone has moved down the road, and that CarPlay and Android Auto are what we need. We want live navigation. We want to be able to make phone calls. We want to do some basic search. All the things that these two apps do make a lot of sense. And the in-car video stuff, we've all kind of walked away from, because we've had a resurgence with music. We really like music.
Yeah.
There's so many music services now, and I feel like people have gone back to that. This product to me seems like it's about 5 years too late.
Okay.
Because there again, who wants to watch? You have these beautiful screens, okay? And it's not I sit in my car during break, and so you want to turn your car on, run gas or whatever it is, and if you have a Tesla, it's a whole nother experience in general. So what would be the yeah, no, that's fine. I don't know, but if you are looking to stream all your content into your dash, now this particular device is very specific. It only works on iPhone 16s and the new Android versions from Samsung and Galaxy or Android and
whole
Google
Android
Pix
stuff.
And all that stuff. So there's 5 phones this actually works with right now. And keep in mind, this is some backdoor stuff that they're building, and that's fine because I use one of those in my car to stream wireless CarPlay, which this will give you wireless CarPlay. So it's one of those things where it's interesting to see if it actually, people still want to do this, but I'm sure there will be some people that still want to do this. So if you're looking for something like this, go right ahead. I feel we've kind of all moved past that.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's just my thought. What do I know? As we all know, I'm a big fan of plug and play.
Yes.
I love plug and play. 2 new Toyota drop-in packages. I don't know why they call them packages, but so we kind of talked about this the other day in the Instagram, how MB Court has come out with some new plug and play Toyota speakers. So these are for the Tacoma. I don't know why it would be different. Why it wouldn't fit in a Corolla or a Camry or a Tundra or something like that, because it probably will. But they're calling it, maybe it has to do with the tweeter in the dash. Yeah. Either way, it's an 8x10. They've pushed this bracket all the way out to the sides. And I'm curious as hell to hear what this thing sounds like.
Me too.
Because now, obviously, when you have something that big and just a tweeter, I feel there's going to be some kind of a gap. It just depends on how they make this. Our brains naturally think, an 8x10, this thing is going to have killer mid-bass, which in order to do that, you're probably going to have a hole between the mid-range and the tweeter, because this can't, they don't balance themselves all that well. And it's not like you have a tweeter that plays down to 18,000 hertz or 1800 hertz. So I'm curious just to see what this mid-bass will do. I still think this would be a better part of a 3-way set. But it'd be interesting just to see. So, MB Court, just saying.
Yeah.
Power bass. Now, see, this is the weird thing. That power bass speaker that they're talking about, that has been available for years.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nothing new there. I don't know why, maybe maybe they have a new part number on it,
Yeah.
but Power Brace is making a replacement for the really old Toyotas that had the generic 3-way set from JBL, and it had the 7-inch, a little 2-inch, and a tweeter up high. They've been making this speaker for a while. We put a bunch of these things in. They're a great replacement upgrade if people aren't trying to improve the stereo.
Yeah.
Most people at this point have decided that they want to improve the stereo and do newer things because it's old and they're going to put a new radio in it. They want CarPlay and stuff like that because it is almost a 15, 16-year-old vehicle. So, but if you're just one of those people that is like, I have this Toyota and it's just rattling because the foam surround has died.
Yeah.
What I really wish somebody would do is come out with a replacement speaker set for the SC430s. You know, that would be fantastic. Just
but it's not a lot of SC.
No, but it's like we need that though.
Yeah,
we don't need that, but we need that.
We have to make our.
It's a pure selfish thing. I wish somebody would just do it. What's up, Fro?
What's up?
Different mounting points on the speaker. That's all. Okay. I mean, but I still think it looks just like the old one. So
why a tweeter and not a 3.5 Midler?
Because the car takes a 2.5.
Yeah, it's fine. But this is what I'm talking about. These manufacturers. And I'm talking in general, these manufacturers create their product and then it's like, what do you think about this? Right?
Hi, Mike.
And it's like, dude, exactly that. Why you didn't make it 2.5? If the 2.5 comes from the factory, make it 2.5.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I feel that's the same thing with the Jeep. Everyone that puts a tweeter in the top of a Jeep, it's like, why would you put a tweeter in the top of a Jeep? It has a 3.5.
Yeah.
Put a 3.5 in the top of the Jeep because it sounds like crap when you put a tweeter in the top of the Jeep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just what it is.
But
anyway,
give me a feedback.
Yeah, give me your feedback. Well, so we have a couple different questions we ask manufacturers and they ask us for feedback. We say, where are we at in the project? Is it a developmental stage of the product? Like we're still talking, we have ideas, we're trying to narrow the whiteboard down to an actual, this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And we're still at step 1 or possibly step 2.
Yeah.
The next question is, okay, are we, is stuff in transit? Meaning, we already have models that we have been shipping back and forth between our manufacturers and ourselves, and we're trying to narrow down, like the SKU count is big, and we're trying to narrow it down to a more usable, like what do we really need? Or is the stuff going to be here in 2 weeks and you just want our blessing to be like, yes, here you go. This is going to be fantastic.
That is fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
But I feel like these type of Power Base or MB Core, they always make something that is like easy to put it on. Right?
Well, yeah, it's a universal that's plug and play type thing.
When we say, okay, this is going to be crap, I feel for the 90% of the people is going to be fine.
And then, it won't be crap.
10% of the people that we care about, like,
well, the reality is when you look at a Tacoma, it has a 2.5 in the top of the dash and either a 7 or a 6x9 in the door. The biggest complaint you get with that is that there's no tweeter. There's no tick. It's just kind of flat and boring. So as soon as you put this in, you put a big mid bass in the door, it's going to liven the system up, and everyone's going to like the way it sounds.
And that's it. That's not necessarily it's going to sound good.
No, they're going to love it.
It's going to.
Yeah, they're going to love it. The same thing's the problem with the Jeep.
Yeah.
The first thing people say when they get the Jeep is they say it's not lively enough. It doesn't have that tick. It's because there's no tweeters in the car anywhere. Mm-hmm. So you put a tweeter in there, you put a mid-range, you take out the beautiful 4-inch, you put a 6.5, you don't cut the hole any bigger, use the Metro brackets, and then they get in there, and the first time they hear it, they're like, yeah, this is what we want. And then 6 months later, they go, something's missing. And you're like, yeah, we know. Yeah. We know. But anyways, that being said, Garmin, a.k.a. JL Audio, offers a new Stealth Box for Polaris. This is cool. There again, I'm assuming this was probably in the works for a while as far as like before. But then again, who knows? Because Garmin has owned them for quite a bit of time. It's just we're finally getting around to them making their presence known. But they want to step into the Polaris side-by-side business. That's pretty cool. I'm sure people have been using their stuff in there for years. They're finally just making the the whole system a thing. So here you go. You got all these parts and pieces and whatnot. I see this as them going after Rockford.
I mean, for sure.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And hey, could be fantastic for them. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And there again, wrong page. A lot of the people think this is like low-hanging fruit. So they go after these things. It's a $5,000 price tag. So,
For the full system, for sure.
Yeah, of course. That's why you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, buy parts, buy pieces, and fun stuff like that. It could be really interesting. Yeah. Anyways.
No, it's.
Again, I know nobody cares about side-by-sides or anything like that, but it's just kind of like,
You never done one.
Well, no, and we probably never will. But it's one of those.
I don't know why. I would love to do one.
Yeah, but
we have the place.
Yeah, and they all go north. Because this is like the flattest area in the world, and there's literally no place in town to drive a Polaris.
If you have a Polaris,
there is no place in town.
Reach out to.
No, golf carts are
5-star car stereo. Yeah.
Lastly, the return of Pioneer cassette decks. It's so very misleading. It's not a cassette deck. There's no cassette in this deck. And there again, this might not even be available in the United States. Right now, this is a DAB tuner, which means it's for Europe only, which is kind of stupid, but I get it. We're dealing with people that are kind of stupid, and that's project designers that sit there and go, I mean, listen, if that blah punk thing can sell, this has no problem, because everyone wants that blah punk thing. And I mean, I've never taken a radio out of a car so fast in my life. That thing sounded like ass. There again, if you're just going for the look of the system, fantastic. But
for classic cars, it's fantastic.
but it sounds like trash.
Yeah, but who cares? These guys only driving this car for 2 hours maybe, and that's it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think something that sounds good. And in Pioneer, we have a chance of actually making a radio that sounds okay, has a decent preamp or something like that. Don't know. So this is the new retro radio.
Yeah.
It looks like an Alpine. Somebody said that last night. So this kind of looks like Alpine and Pioneer had a baby. And I would agree with that. The USB is actually hiding behind the quasi tape door.
Yeah.
So it's, it kind of, that kind of thing. So I guess that's cool. It's probably has Bluetooth. So that'll be.
All right. So my question is, if we're going to keep as a retro, as how they look, what do you need a USB for?
There again, it's just for charge. I mean, they got to do something with the door to make it look like it's a cassette player. I mean, and it makes sense. Yeah, but that's what
make it wobbly.
That's that's what you get when you take a product designer and you give them an old looking piece, and it's like, you make it look like this.
Yeah.
And they go, well, what are we gonna do to the door? Oh, that'd be cool if we hid the USB underneath it. And it's like, okay, fine, do that, because we know it has to have a USB on the front somewhere, because the person that's buying this is like, where do I plug in to charge my phone?
In your house before you get out of the house.
I forgot. And so car gift would know, because this is going to be in his neck of the woods where he can buy this. So an aux jack is even more useless. So I mean, yay, aux jack. Who the hell uses one of those?
Fantastic.
And it does have to have a USB. So
I hope it has a toss link.
It will not have a toss link. And there again, no price was given, so it'll be interesting to see what this is, and if somebody starts import. So the problem is you can't import it into the U.S. because they use a different tuner system.
Yep.
So it's even, not odd numbers. So even if it is available, the FM wouldn't work here, unless Pioneer was smart enough to do like Kenwood does, where you can hold two buttons and it'll switch between European and American, which they probably didn't, because that would make way too much sense. Plus, if they made it here, they'd have to take the DAB out, and they'd have to have SAT, because it would have to have satellite radio capability. Because
we need satellite.
I need satellite radio. I got to hear the news. I got to hear the news while I'm driving. And I was like, just play it from your phone. Well, I can do that. Yes, you can totally do that.
No, you can't, because you didn't charge your phone. So no, you can't.
Yeah, you're screwed. No USB charge for you. No soup for you.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think this is cool. Small batch products like this are fantastic. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't make. Listen,
I think this is just like, come on, guy.
They're looking at the market and they're going, where can we go? And they see
you're gonna go in between the 50s and 80s, because I don't think a 30-year-old was gonna buy this.
Dude, you gotta remember, they have sat radio on all these little screened radios. I mean, that's where it started. So it'd just be what it is. I mean, put it in a channel and it scrolls the title of the song.
I'm just a negative person. I'm sorry.
No, listen, I'm sure they looked at, I'm sure they have product planners that just kind of looked around, and or the facility where their radio is being made, It is the same place that makes the Chinese radio. Or, I'm sorry, that makes the Blaupunkt radio. And they were like, why don't we make one of these?
Yeah.
Why are we giving all the money to them? How much would it cost us to build this? And they're like, nothing.
For what it is, I really like the retro radios because they look fantastic.
Right. And a silver radio in the dash of this has always been ugly. I mean, and something with 10,000 lights and, I mean, back in the day, I mean, we sold a ton when Alpine was green and they had the amber option where you could go between green and amber. We sold a ton of that one SKU because everybody with a BMW had to have that radio. Yeah. So, just light up amber? No, I don't want that one. Because no, it's it's 100%. It's a gimmick for sure. I mean, it's a gimmick for sure. $100 kind of sucks. If it is $100, that sucks. Because
how much do you think is going to be?
It should be about $150. Realistically,
I think it's going to be like $2.
$2 would be fine too.
Yeah.
There again, it's a very specific piece. Very specific piece don't come with a cheap price tag.
Yeah.
So,
is a rag.
6 colors. No, it's in there again. 6 colors is perfect because you want it to match the dash. Because there again, I know a lot of European dashes were that amber, but there's still some that are green and white and blue and stuff like that. So you want it to go through the basic RGB stuff.
For sure.
Honestly, I didn't even know about this radio until last night, and somebody was telling me about it. And then, of course, it's in C Outlook, so we're like, oh, cool. Because I didn't want to go looking for it, so it was nice when it popped up.
There you go. Green.
Yeah, so there's the green color right there.
Yeah.
Yay! It's so cool.
Beautiful. It
is so amazing. I haven't seen a price anywhere. All right. Well, there again, Cargill, when you get us a price, I don't even think there's a price anywhere online.
No, but you can call them right there.
Yeah. They can disappoint you like anything else.
Whoa.
But no, I listen. I think this should be made for the U.S. for sure. I think it'll be fine.
It has a 13-band EQ.
Yeah.
3 RCAs pre-out.
Yeah.
Front rear sub. 3-way network mode or a standard mode.
It's their same crappy radio that they make, just with a new front end on it. That's why I'm saying, literally it can't be that
front
expensive.
USB for smartphone capability. Yeah.
And trust me, there's a lot of people that wish they'd bring back the changers, the CD changers.
I'm just glad they changed it.
Because we still get people that ask for that stuff, and I just look at them and go, every song on the planet,
I have it in my hand.
I have it in my hand.
That's
every
right.
song,
That's right.
anything I could ever want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have some CDs that I made, and they're it's all my. It's like, make a playlist, dude. Make a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
If I can figure it out, you can definitely figure it out.
Yeah.
Please God, no changers. Exactly. Found it in Germany for €3.99 euros. See what the euro to dollar conversion is. I still have some sitting in storage. I should sell them. Yeah, but the problem is unless you have the radio to control it. I mean, there again, it's got to have better sound than the Blaupunkt because it's just built, 420 something. Yeah.
452.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
452.
$500. Yeah. Well, yeah, $500 by the time you had tariffs and all that crap to it. So yeah,
that's $600.
No, $500. Whoa, you well, that was 10 grand, man. Golly.
See?
So, and this is why we don't talk about pricing because it fluctuates
like
so much.
$12,000.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, it's not Canadian, bro. Calm down. So $500 seems a bit steep. I mean, considering like.
Oh, I thought that you wanted the more expensive is the better.
For $250, it's a reasonable amount of that.
What are you talking about, bro?
And there again, 500, and that is right. I like that price. It's a good price. It is a good price because the guy that's restoring one of these cars has been taken to the cleaners on everything else he's had to buy.
Yeah.
So $500 seems like a deal. The average guy that rolls in with the Toyota Corolla and wants a single-din radio is looking for a $99. And he's not even looking for that. He saw one on Amazon for $20, so he's looking for that. So, and that Blaupunkt piece is like $400. So, yeah, exactly. So the DAB antenna is extra. Oh, yeah. So there again, I don't think $500 is out of the question, and that 100% explains why Pioneer would build this.
Yeah,
because they don't have to sell a ton of them.
Right. No, they make value.
They literally will make one batch of this radio. They'll make one batch of this radio because they got to make a ton of
5,000 pieces.
That won't be 5,000 pieces. Oh. It'll be a couple hundred, and they'll be set for probably 2 years. You know, I maybe they'll make 1,000 of these. Either way, for $500, it's and they don't ever have to change it. Like it never has to change. It never has to be anything different than what it is. To me, as a manufacturer, this is a perfect piece to make because it will never change. You never have to update it. You never have to make new plastics because it's retro. It's going to look like this forever. So you just keep making it and charging $500 for it.
Whoever wants it. Yeah.
Like to me, this like
it's fine.
when I go, where would I like to? I would love to invest my money in something like this because it's a slow burn, but you're going to sell every one of them.
Okay.
It is. It's a slow burn, but everyone is going to want one. You know, everyone that has one of these old cars is going to want one of these. You know, the Land Rover guy, this is what he wanted. It'd be even better if it's short chassis. Like if short chassis, that's fantastic. And look at Retro Radio. I mean, Jesus Christ, Retro Radio has literally made a living off of selling crappy radios that look like old car radios.
But that's what you're going for. You're going for that look.
Right. And they're
don't care about the sound.
Right, but they're super expensive. Yeah, but some guys do care about the sound. That's why you put like a retro radio in and then you put a controller somewhere else that doesn't match anything in the car. You know, and you're like, oh, that kind of sucks. But
made like a GS9 style and a retro radio that is like, you know, $15,000.
Bro, you don't Velcro. It just sits right on your lap, man. It just sits right there, you know, because it's like, dude, I never understood remotes in cars. I have never understood why anyone needs a remote for a car.
Oh, dude, that would be cool if you open the door and you remote comes out. You know, that's where you put your remote.
That's where you put your Blackbird, bro. Some of you guys will get that. Anyways, and I'm not talking about Arc Audio. All right, guys. Hey, guess what? You've been newsed. You know it all now. No good news is good news without Fernando. Good news. Anyways, that's all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. Tomorrow is Saturday. For those of you that don't know how the calendar works,
tomorrow
we're coming off of that 4-day week for some, 5-day weeks for others. It's been a living hell. But we're going to be here tomorrow at 5 o'clock taking your questions and talking all about crazy car stereo stuff. So if you've got questions, we've got answers. Make sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 Eastern Standard Time for that information. Of course, you can find us on Instagram where we like to go on daily, every other day. We didn't go on yesterday. But don't worry, that car is still here. If you were following along at home, it hasn't left.
BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Do you mean BlackBerry instead of Blackbird?
No, the Alpine Blackbird. Just type Alpine Blackbird. You'll know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's it, guys. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.